You ever met someone who seems completely unshakable, no matter what? You say no matter how much chaos swirls around them, they don't flinch. You could insult them, betray them, or throw them into a storm of criticism, and they'd just blink, maybe even smile a little. There's something unnerving about it, isn't there? You can't tell if they're enlightened or just emotionally dead inside. But what if I told you that? Learning a bit of that mindset, the mindset of someone who doesn't get angry, who doesn't get bothered, might actually be one of the most powerful mental skills you can ever develop. Not to become cold or detached, but to become untouchable. Most people spend their whole lives reacting. Someone disrespects them, they explode. Someone ignores them, they spiral. Someone disagrees with them, and suddenly it's personal. But imagine living in a way where none of that can touch you, where the opinions, moods, and manipulations of others just slide right off you. That's what I mean by the sociopath's mindset, not in the sense of pathology or harm, but the psychological armor that comes from mastering emotional detachment, the ability to see things as they are, not as your ego interprets them. Here's the first uncomfortable truth. Anger and irritation don't come from other people. They come from your attachment to how you think people should act. When someone lies to you, insults you, or lets you down, your mind compares that reality to the version of them you wanted to exist, and the gap between those two things becomes your suffering. It's not the action that hurts you, it's your expectation that it should have been different. That's the first mental rewiring. You don't control people, and you never did. You only ever controlled your internal response to their behavior. Let's dig deeper into that. Imagine you're walking down the street and someone spits near your feet. A normal person might get offended, confront them, maybe even start a fight. But someone with this mindset pauses and thinks, what actually changed in my life right now? Nothing. It's only my mind telling me that I've been disrespected, that I need to restore balance to defend my status. But that's just programming, a reaction coded into you by years of social conditioning and insecurity. The sociopath's mindset recognizes this programming and simply deletes it, not out of suppression, but because it's unnecessary noise. You see, when you stop trying to make the world match your emotional preferences, people lose power over you. The person who can make you angry controls you. They pull your strings and you dance. The person who can make you feel small owns your self-perception. But when you master indifference, not in a lazy way, but in a deliberate, disciplined way, you become psychologically free. That's the paradox. Detachment doesn't make you weaker, it makes you ungovernable. But let's be honest, emotional detachment sounds cold, right? Like cutting off your feelings, becoming robotic. But that's not what this is. True detachment isn't the absence of emotion, it's the mastery of it. It's like watching a storm from behind bulletproof glass. You see it, you hear it, but it can't reach you. You still feel, but you're not ruled by what you feel. The sociopath's mindset isn't about not caring. It's about caring selectively. It's about choosing what actually deserves your energy and what's just bait. Most people never realize how much bait the world throws at them every single day. Arguments online, passive-aggressive comments, little jabs disguised as jokes. The world runs on emotional reactions. It feeds on them. The algorithm rewards outrage, manipulation, thrives on it, and weak minds crumble under it. But imagine being the one person who doesn't bite, the one who sees the trap, smirks, and walks away. That's the level of control you want. Not over others, but over yourself. Now, to build that, you have to confront one of the hardest things to accept. Most of what people do isn't about you. It never was. People's behavior reflects their inner chaos, their fears, their insecurities, their unmet needs. When someone lashes out, they're just projecting the storm inside them. When they mock or judge you, they're trying to escape their own sense of inadequacy. Once you really get that, not just intellectually, but emotionally, you stop personalizing everything. You stop wasting energy trying to decode every tone, every expression, every silence. You just see patterns of human behavior repeating, and you let them pass. There's a strange peace in realizing that. Nothing anyone says about you actually defines you. Someone calls you arrogant, that's their perception. Someone calls you weak, that's their lens. None of it touches what you actually are. The sociopath's mindset treats opinions like weather. You notice it, but you don't. Try to control it. You adapt. You stay steady. But here's where most people fail. They think not reacting means being passive, being a doormat. That's not it either. Detachment doesn't mean you let people disrespect you. It means you stop needing to prove anything. Through your reaction, you can enforce boundaries calmly. You can walk away without theatrics because real power doesn't need to announce itself. It's just felt. The moment you argue, justify, or explain your worth, you've already handed it away. Silence, composure, and control, they speak, louder than anger ever could. Now, let's look at why anger feels so intoxicating in the first place. Anger gives you the illusion of power. It makes you feel like you're taking control, standing up, asserting dominance. But it's a lie, because in that state, you're completely controlled by chemicals, by impulses, by someone else's trigger. You're not choosing, you're reacting. The sociopath's mindset flips that completely. It doesn't chase emotional highs or moral victories. It just asks one question: does this serve me? And if it doesn't, it's discarded, efficient, ruthless, clean. It's uncomfortable for most people to even think like that. They want to be good, to be understood, to be fair. But the truth is, fairness is a luxury. The world isn't built on it. The world runs on leverage, perception, and control. And the people who understand that don't waste time being offended. They're too busy winning silently while everyone else argues over who's right. Emotional discipline is their edge, and you can build that too. The process starts by catching your reactions in real time. Every time you feel that spark of irritation, that urge to clap back, pause, notice it, feel it, fully without moving. Most people rush to release that tension by reacting, but if you can hold it, observe it, and let it dissolve on its own, you're training your mind to obey you instead of the other way around. That's the real work. Not suppressing, but mastering. It's like taming a wild animal. At first, your emotions will fight you. They'll scream that you're being disrespected, that you need to respond. That silence means weakness. Ignore it. Observe it, like you would a tantrum from a child. The more you practice not feeding it, the quieter it gets. Over time, anger loses its grip. It becomes just another thought passing through, not a command you must obey. Once you reach that stage, something strange happens. People start testing you more because they sense something different about you. Your calmness triggers their chaos. They'll push, they'll poke, they'll try to pull you into their drama just to see if they can still get a reaction. And that's when you'll realize how much control you actually have. Not over them, but over yourself. You can smile while they rage, walk away while they beg for attention, and sleep peacefully while they obsess because their noise doesn't reach you anymore. That's when the game changes. You stop trying to win arguments and you start mastering silence. You stop chasing validation and you start enjoying detachment. You stop explaining yourself and you start observing how much people reveal when you don't respond. It's wild how much of human interaction is just emotional. Fishing. Most people throw out lines of words hoping you'll bite with a reaction. Anger, defensiveness, insecurity. It doesn't matter what kind. As long as you react, that's what gives them control. But once you stop reacting, you flip the dynamic completely. You become unpredictable. unreadable, and that makes you powerful in a way that's hard to describe. Think about it. Power isn't always about force. Sometimes it's about being unbothered when everyone else is, desperate to make you move. A calm mind in a chaotic world looks like power. Because it is power, you can't manipulate someone who doesn't crave your approval. You can't control someone who's emotionally self-contained. And that's why detachment is so rare. It's the final form of independence. Now, let's go deeper into how this mindset is built from the inside out. Most people think they can fake it. They'll say things like, "I don't care," while secretly obsessing over what people think. But the mind always knows the truth. You can't fake indifference. You have to earn it. That means deconstructing your identity piece by piece. You have to question why you need people's validation in the first place. Why do you feel disrespected when someone ignores you? Why do you need to prove yourself when someone doubts you? Every irritation is a window into attachment. Every anger is evidence of dependency. So the work isn't about controlling others. It's about uncovering what still controls you. For example, if you get angry when someone disrespects you publicly, that means your self-image is built on perception. You've outsourced your worth to other people's opinions. A sociopathic mindset, on the other hand, internalizes worth completely. It's self-referential. You decide who you are and nothing external can threaten that decision. Once that belief takes root, the world loses its power to bother you. And this isn't arrogance, it's clarity. The world teaches you to be reactive because reactive people are easy to manipulate. Entire industries are built on emotional control. Advertising plays on your insecurities. Politics plays on your outrage. Social media thrives on your need to prove yourself. Every time you react, you feed the system. Detachment isn't just emotional freedom, it's rebellion. It's saying, you don't get to rent space in my head. To really embody that, you have to practice strategic coldness. That doesn't mean cruelty. It means precision, knowing when to engage and when to let go, when to speak and when to stay silent, when to care deeply and when to stay indifferent. It's a skill, and it develops through repetition. You start by picking your battles. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every situation requires emotional investment. The more selective you become, the stronger your energy gets. Because energy that isn't wasted becomes power. Here's something most people miss. Anger often disguises fear. When someone makes you mad, it's usually because they've touched a nerve, something you don't fully own within yourself. Maybe they exposed an insecurity, or they mirrored a trait you secretly hate. The sociopath's mindset doesn't run from that. It studies it. It asks, why did that bother me? And if the answer is rooted in ego or insecurity, it's dissolved. You turn every trigger into data. Every insult becomes information, and information is power. There's a subtle shift that happens when you start doing this. You stop seeing people as opponents and you start seeing them as mirrors. Every interaction shows you something about yourself. The person who annoys you reveals your impatience. The person who disrespects you tests your boundaries. The person who lies to you challenges your discernment. Instead of reacting, you start learning. Every moment that could have made you angry becomes an exercise in mastery, but that kind of control doesn't come instantly. Your ego will resist. It'll whisper. If you don't react, they'll think they've won. Let them. The need to win every small exchange is what keeps most people small. The calm mind wins the long game. Let them believe whatever they need to. Your silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. You're conserving your power for things that actually matter. When you stop trying to prove yourself, people get confused. They expect conflict, but you give them calm. They expect explanation, but you give them stillness. They expect to provoke you, but you give them nothing. That's when they realize they have no access to you. And that's when respect begins. Not the forced kind, but the quiet kind that comes from strength. Because real strength isn't loud. It's the ability to stay centered when everyone else is losing balance. And here's something else people rarely talk about. Once you reach that level of control, you start to see through manipulation instantly. The guilt trips, the emotional hooks, the performative outrage, it all becomes transparent. You see it, you name it, and you walk away before it pulls you in. It's like having emotional X-ray vision. You stop taking the bait because you can literally see the fishing line attached to it. That's when people start calling you cold or detached. But that's just what clarity looks like to those still living in confusion. You'll also notice something interesting. Your relationships change when you stop reacting. Emotionally chaotic people either fall away or transform. They can't feed on your energy anymore, so they lose interest. The ones who stay are the ones who can meet you in calmness, and those are the only relationships worth keeping. The world rearranges itself around your level of emotional control, but detachment doesn't mean you don't feel anymore. In fact, you feel more deeply, but differently. You start noticing subtleties that rage and noise used to drown out. You can feel sadness without breaking. You can feel joy without clinging to it. You can feel empathy without being consumed by it. That's what real emotional intelligence looks like. Not hyper-reactivity, but depth, without drowning. If you want to train this mindset, start with micro detachments, small moments where you choose silence instead of defending yourself, moments where you let someone be wrong about you, moments where you don't check your phone after sending a message. Every time you resist the pull to react, you strengthen your internal gravity. You become your own emotional center instead of orbiting everyone else's chaos. And then comes the stage most people never reach, the stage of genuine neutrality. You stop labeling things as good or bad. They just are. Someone insults you. That's data. Someone praises you. Also data. You stop being high on validation or low on rejection. You become steady, balanced, unshaken. That's the sociopath's calm. Not emptiness, but dominance over emotion. It's strange, but once you start living like this, life feels lighter. You stop fighting ghosts. You stop rewriting other people's behavior in your head. You realize you never needed closure, apologies, or explanations. You just needed detachment. You don't need to control what happens. You just need to stop letting it control you. And once that clicks, nothing anyone does can truly bother you again. You'll also start noticing how much peace there is in not needing to be understood. That's one of the quietest forms of freedom there is. Most of your anger comes from the desire to correct someone's version of you. You want them to know what you meant, to see who you really are, to stop misjudging you. But once you let that go, once you realize that people will believe whatever fits their worldview, you stop wasting your breath. You stop explaining. You stop defending. You start letting people sit with their own assumptions while you keep living in truth. Because explanation is just another form of begging to be seen right. And someone with true detachment doesn't beg for anything, not even understanding. There's a strange kind of intimidation in calmness. People don't know what to do with someone who doesn't react. It makes them anxious because they can't read you. They can't figure out if you're offended, planning something, or simply indifferent. That's the beauty of emotional control. It's unpredictable. It keeps others in a loop while you stay centered. Even in conflict, your lack of reaction becomes a kind of quiet dominance. You don't have to shout to assert power. Your stillness does it for you. And if you really study human behavior, you'll start to see something fascinating. People don't actually want peace. They want control. They don't want harmony. They want to feel superior, validated, or morally right. That's why most arguments exist, not to reach truth, but to feed ego. When you understand that, you stop engaging in useless battles. You let people win the argument while you win your peace. Because what's the point of being right if you lose your calm trying to prove it? True detachment means you've outgrown the need to fight small wars. You've realized that not every provocation deserves your participation. Sometimes silence is the best. Counterattack because it reveals who's desperate for control. When someone's shouting and you're quiet, their noise becomes self-exposure. They show the world what kind of person they are. Impulsive, emotional, desperate, while your stillness speaks of depth. But you don't get there by pretending. You get there through observation. You start noticing how your mind reacts in real time. The way your chest tightens when someone disrespects you, the impulse to reply, the craving to have the last word. Don't suppress it. Just observe it, like a scientist studying an animal. The moment you can separate the you that observes from the you that reacts, you're in control. That's the gap between awareness and impulse, and that's where mastery lives. Now here's something counterintuitive. Emotional detachment doesn't make you harder. It actually makes you softer, but stronger. You become more compassionate, not because you're a saint, but because you finally see clearly. You understand that everyone is acting from pain or fear. Even cruelty comes from weakness. And once you see that, you stop taking things personally. You can look at someone screaming in your face and feel almost sorry for them. They're not your enemy. They're a prisoner of their emotions. You're free. They're not. That's the real difference. Of course, people will test your boundaries when they sense your calmness. It threatens their sense of control. Some will try to provoke you to get a reaction just to prove that they still can. But that's when you double down on silence, because the moment you react, you reward their behavior. You give them proof that they matter enough to shake you. Instead, you watch, you wait, and you let the tension make them uncomfortable. Eventually, they crumble under their own need for control. Detachment also changes how you handle betrayal. Most people get consumed by it. They replay it, question it, demand closure. But closure doesn't come from others. It comes from perspective. When you truly embody detachment, you stop being shocked by human inconsistency. You accept that loyalty, honesty, and integrity are rare, and that expecting them universally is a setup for pain. You don't hate people for being flawed. You just stop depending on them to be otherwise. That doesn't mean cynicism. It means realism. The sociopath's calm is built on seeing reality without flinching. And once you accept reality, anger starts to feel pointless. Think about it. When has anger ever changed a situation for the better? It might feel good for a few seconds, but afterward you're left drained, guilty, and stuck in the same mess. Anger burns energy that could have gone into building something, learning something, or walking away cleanly. Then the detached mind asks, why destroy yourself trying to destroy someone else? The best revenge has always been indifference. When you're too busy evolving, the people who try to hurt you can't even reach your level anymore. This kind of mindset doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow transformation, like metal hardening under fire. You'll fail at it often. You'll catch yourself reacting, getting irritated, caring too much. But every time you notice it, you strengthen your awareness. You start to see the trap before you fall in. Eventually, the space between stimulus and response widens until you can live inside that space. That's where peace exists. That's where the sociopath's calm becomes second nature. Not forced, not faked, but real. You'll know you've reached it when you start finding silence more satisfying than explanations. When you choose peace over victory, when your first thought after being insulted is a small detached smile, that's when you've transcended the cycle of reaction. You've stopped letting people write your emotional script for you. You've become the author again. And when that happens, life becomes astonishingly quiet, not because It's empty, but because all the noise that used to consume you suddenly sounds irrelevant. You walk through chaos and stay centered. You hear criticism and stay calm. You face rejection and stay grounded. The storms still come, but they no longer move you. You've seen through the illusion that others ever had control over your peace. And once that illusion breaks, no one can ever make you angry again. Not truly. You might feel irritation flicker for a second, but it dies fast because there's nothing inside you left for it to feed on. That's the real secret, not becoming heartless, but becoming untouchable. A person who feels deeply yet remains unshaken, who sees the world's madness but doesn't join it, who knows that anger is just another leash and they'd rather walk